welcome to Creating in Color, sharing the creative endeavors of people of color. I'm your host, Kaybe, and today we're speaking with Meghana, a 2D, 3D artist and designer for animation and advertising, whose past projects include Elf Pets, Bless the Hearts, and is a Packaging Design Award winner. How are you today, Meghana?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thank you so much for asking, and thank you for joining us today. So, what exactly is a 2D, 3D artist and designer?
A 2D dimensional art, or sometimes referred to as 2D art, is one of the most popular forms of art and has been around for years. And somehow it still seems to attract the attention of many people inside and outside the creative industry. It's definitely a super versatile form of art and can range from a variety of mediums. And a 2D digital artist is typically responsible for producing conceptual sketches and drawings of either whether it's backgrounds, characters, assets, icons, and even deciding color tones and palettes. And they mainly work for advertising agencies, game development companies, animation production companies, and even children's books illustrations. And I can say that they have the control to enable the visualization of what the final product is going to look like. Basically, they're responsible for transforming creative ideas and concepts to visuals. On the other hand, 3D artists focus more on 3D modeling, sculpting, texturing, animations, and visual effects that can be used in several ways, whether it's for films or TV or games.
Oh, I see. So your skills kind of range a little bit in everywhere then, pretty much.
Yeah, I kind of juggle between 2D and 3D.
Wow, that's really neat. And how do these roles change from animation versus advertising?
I guess the roles aren't drastically different, but the main distinction would be sort of the number of people or the teams involved, and maybe even a little bit of the process. For example, for animation, right? You have a larger team of people in each department working on the same project, whether it's a film or a television series. It's often broken down into three stages, which is pre production, production, and post production. And under each of them, you have several teams handling different aspects of the project. Although the process is comparable in advertising, it is typically faster and involves a smaller team of people considering the scale of the project. So I guess the roles would be the same. It's just that you wouldn't find as many people working in advertising as compared to animation.
I see. And it also sounds like, too, the schedule and deadlines are drastically different compared to animation and
Oh
advertising.
yes, like the animated film that I worked on, it went on for a period of 8 months, I guess, 6 to 8 months. But then an advertising project would probably be about 2 to 3 months, or even a month, or maybe even lesser.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, then. And how did you get started in the industries of animation and advertising?
Oh, so I loved art and design for as long as I can remember. I started painting with watercolors, acrylic, and oil at the age of 6, actually. So growing up, I was that kid who doodled in friends' notebooks while class was on, and there were also not many design art related subjects where I studied. So I took up art classes after school. So it was sort of the only creative outlet I had at the time, and it paved way for all that I do today. So, and I sort of looked at art as a hobby, but I think the moment I decided that I wanted to pursue my career in art and in the creative industry was when I first watched Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings trilogy. So, and
Mm-hmm.
for me, that was filmmaking at its best. I was in awe by the visuals and the concepts and dug a bit deeper on the making of all the films. And that sort of became a part of my daily routine after work to just sit and do a ton of research. And it's really the influence the artists who worked on this film had in my life. It pushed me to learn more about what goes into making such masterpieces, and which in turn helped me understand the path I wanted to take, which was 2D concept art at the time, But ever since
Hmm.
I was introduced to 3D art, especially different forms of 3D art and softwares, I was sort of obsessed with how much you could do with 3D, especially when you also have the skill to draw out your own concepts. I got super addicted to like just teaching myself different softwares and experimenting with it. So, like I said, like I juggle between 2D and 3D art, and it's so hard to sort of specialize in one area.
Yeah, the two I feel like always bring different life and quality,
Yeah,
and I guess artistic challenges as well, doing 2D or 3D. So I understand why it's difficult to make a choice
yeah,
between the two.
yeah.
Do you have any software that you prefer for 2D and 3D?
For 2D, I usually tend to stick to Photoshop and Photoshop or Illustrator, even After Effects for just, some effects or animation work. But for 3D, I think I experiment a lot more with Maya, Autodesk Maya, ZBrush, even 3ds Max. So there are a ton of 3D softwares that the industries themselves use, like Autodesk Maya. So that's what I mainly use. And I also recently started experimenting with Cinema 4D, Unreal, and Unity,
Mm.
because that's where all the craze about the metaverse concepts are going on with Unreal and Unity. So I really wanted to like sort of give myself that learning.
Did you have any interest in any other industries?
I guess at a very early age, I sort of knew the path I wanted to take professionally, but that didn't stop me from having interests outside of what I do every day. I'm
Hmm.
super passionate about architecture and interior design. And when people ask me how I spend my weekends, most of the time you will find me and my friends at literally every open house there is checking the place out. Like we wouldn't place any sort of offer, but we would be there just hanging around. So, and I'm a huge fan of Italian inspired homes, the rustic Tuscan countryside vibes that usually have like emphasis on natural landscaping. And
Hmm.
this is literally what you would find on my Pinterest boards. Just it's filled with such images.
And what does your daily routine look like?
Oh, before or after the pandemic? Because I think there was a huge shift in my daily routine, just like, the rest of the 7 billion people in the world, I guess. Because during the early days of the pandemic, I would say that my routine was completely upside down. I was working longer hours, I spent more time in front of the screen, and I really struggled with achieving that work life balance. I think it took me a lot of time and effort, and mainly realization to push myself to maintain a healthier routine. So, because when you
Hmm.
take care of your mind and body, you positively contribute a lot more to your professional lives. And I saw that difference when I changed my routine. So, I try to wake up early, finish my work, and I make sure I spend a lot more time off screen by engaging myself in other activities, whether it's reading a book, taking my sketchbook outside to the park and just sketching with my friends, or even cooking, which I love to do. So it's really about pushing for that balance, which is, I would say, crucial for every artist in the industry.
Yeah, I feel like once the pandemic did hit,
Mhm.
a lot of people's eyes kind of opened
Oh yeah.
with just how much people were being taken advantage of,
Oh, yeah.
in a very nice way of putting it. So yeah, I'm glad that you also had that realization and you're able to have a better balance.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What are some specific roadblocks that you try to watch out for?
Like I mentioned, I think two things come to mind. One would be how important it is to take that extra effort in balancing out your work life and personal life, because the creative
Hmm.
industry, specifically animation, advertising, and games, can be awfully time consuming, monotonous, and exhausting at the same time. And
Yeah.
oftentimes, you don't even realize how much time has passed when your eyes are like literally glued to the screen. So it's sort of important to like take a step back and like just prioritize yourself also at the same time. And I think the second thing would be since this is a highly popular industry, we tend to have heavy competition. And out of experience, I would say that, you have tons of artists trying to create and innovate something new. So, and they're all almost doing the same thing. You come across like 1,000 other people doing what you're doing, and it's so difficult to like stand out from that crowd because it's
Hmm.
not a new industry. So it's important to like put yourself out there, reach out to people in the industry, and just show them your work. You don't even have to ask them for a job, but just let them know that you exist in this world, and try to like add people to your network and keep in touch with them. I did that a lot the last 3 years, and my friends laugh at me about this. I have like 3,500 connections on LinkedIn, and I don't
Oh,
know
wow.
like 90% of them. I have no idea. I just know that they are in the industry, and it would be good to keep them in my network at some point. I could like reach out to them for something, but I just tend to like connect with people and, let them know that hey, I exist, and like take a look at my work.
What support, education, or resources do you use or recommend for someone trying to break in?
I think the biggest piece of advice I would give people who are still in school or about to graduate is to take that extra effort to make use of all the free online material that are very accessible. There is a ton of tutorials, certifications, online courses that one can take to really master their skills before applying for jobs. In all top companies, I think the skills speak volumes more than just, owning a degree. Yes, a degree, it would be nice to have, but that's not what's really going to get you a job. So it's important to learn and improvise on those skills outside of the material provided by your university or school to really catch the attention of all the top recruiters. And for me, working with multiple studios and all the top professionals gave me a huge exposure in the creative industry. It is definitely challenging and a highly competitive industry. And but yeah, I wish I did that like 4 years ago. But I guess it's never too late. I just started like doing a bunch of certifications, and it really helps because they're free. And for students who are just out of college, money plays a huge role. You don't want to like be spending on other online courses again after you've just like cleared off your, or you've just paid for your education, your university. So there are tons of
Hmm.
free material out there, and they're so useful. Like you can learn so much from them. So I would highly recommend that.
Yeah, that's really good advice, actually.
Yeah. And it's so hard. Sometimes it's like it's hard when you're at home. Like when you're in class and you have all your friends around, I guess it's easier to like sit and learn the subject together. But when you're
Hmm.
at home, it's so hard to like really push yourself or motivate yourself to do something new. I guess the work from home environment has just it's made me a lazy person. I'm trying not to be a lazy person, but
It's really hard to find motivation to push yourself.
oh
And
yeah.
I feel like that's what makes working from home very challenging for other people is that they're not in an environment where it's like a team setting. So, like, I totally understand that. And I mean, I wish I had advice to help someone become more self motivated,
I know.
but it is, it's tough.
It,
But I feel like the certification um courses and like just trying to push yourself to do like different online courses, I feel like that's helpful and can also help inspire
oh
that
yeah.
motivation
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure.
Yeah.
Congratulations on winning favorite design and a design award and competition. Do you mind going into what these are, how you found these opportunities, and your process?
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, that was a surprise for me too. So, Favorite Design is a creative platform. It's based in France, and they showcase packaging designs of different artists from around the world. They, in fact, reached out to me after they saw one of my designs on another platform called Packaging of the World. So, and that's really how I entered into the competition. Later, I had a short interview with the team, and they ended up selecting my design to be published in their annual book. I got a copy just a week ago, and it was so nice to see my design in their book.
Aw.
And it was pretty exciting. And a design award and competition is, I guess, one of the world's most prestigious awards that showcases exceptional design in various products and services, such as like furniture design, packaging design, and so much more. And I had collaborated with my client, who had reached out to me then to redesign their coffee packaging. The client is based out of India, and I really wanted to bring a fresh concept so that it stands out amongst its prominent competitors. So I did a hand painted illustration, which was later printed onto the packaging, made from reusable paper, and it's soon to be launched in the markets. I still haven't received like a set date, but I'm just waiting to hear back and see how it does. And
Ooh,
yeah,
that's so exciting.
yeah, to see your product out there in the market, like I would definitely go and buy one just to, just to look at the packaging and never use the product, I guess. Yeah. It was fun to be a part of these platforms, mainly because they're not from. So I'm from India, and for me, it was. I tried my best to, like, really network with people from across the globe. Even after I moved to Atlanta, I tried to reach out to people here, and to have something based out of France, and a design award and competition is based in Italy. So it's kind of nice to see your product like showcased in different parts of the world as well.
Yeah, it is. Dang. What was your upbringing like?
I had tons of amazing memories growing up. I have a brother and a sister, and we had the best times together. I grew up around a lot of creative people in my family. My mom always loved interior design. My brother is actually a designer himself in advertising, and he also writes. I remember him publishing a book of poems, and I think his one of his first poems was about my mom, and it was so sweet. So it
Oh.
was, yeah. So and my sister, she also loves every anything to do with like fashion, and I think it's my dad that had that insatiable curiosity for art, especially when it came to filmmaking and special effects. He would always watch a film from an artist's perspective and would get inquisitive about the making of those films. And I think it's his obsession that fueled my pursuit of art and design. And I remember we used to watch every animated film that released, and we would wonder about what goes into making these films. And I think that sort of triggered the creative side of my brain, and that's how I got started. And I actually have like a short, funny story. So, like
Hmm.
every other child, I used to draw a lot on walls in my house, but this was on the walls of my terrace, I guess. Me and my sister would used to grab our pencils and run upstairs, and we literally like Picassoed all over the wall. And my parents had no idea about this at that point. And after a certain point, I think even I forgot they even existed. And recently, when I visited home, I sort of noticed them, and I have to say they were straight out of a horror film. They were so
Oh.
creepy. I was like, what was I thinking as a child when I drew these drawings on the wall? They were these drawings of what was supposed to be people, but without, bodies. So you had hands and legs coming out of the face. So the anatomy was like all over the place. So I guess I've come a long way since then, and somehow it all worked out. And now I think I can finally say that I know how to draw people with all the parts in the right place, I guess.
I don't know. Having a human head with hands and
Oh,
legs just coming out sounds pretty amazing.
would do good in a horror film for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere in the attic, in a chest, someone comes in and opens it after like 20 years, and you see that there. Yeah, it
Oh
would
my God, that is horrific.
definitely.
I know you mentioned that you enjoy cooking, architecture, interior design, but do you have any other hobbies, side hustles, or interests you engage in?
Yeah, so I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and it has probably the best weather I've experienced in I haven't been to a ton of states in America, but Atlanta has like a pretty good weather, and so me and my friends love to spend time outdoors, when whether it's camping or hiking or even kayaking, and or even like visiting like local coffee shops that have opened up. We did that a lot more often the last year or so, since the pandemic had really confined all of us into our environment. And I guess now I have like a new appreciation for outdoor activities. So I try to do as much, like just stay away from the screen and just leave my house as much as possible.
This might be a really random question. This, and I don't know, so sorry.
Yeah.
But it snows in Atlanta, right?
It it's so strange in sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Like 3 years ago it snowed, and then we had a break, and it we had like a like I guess hail the hailstorm. So it was very slight. It wasn't like snow. We had that last winter, but it was literally like, honestly, it felt like it didn't feel like actual snow. When you went outside, stepped outside your house, it just felt like someone's taking crushed ice and throwing it on your face from their fridge.
Oh no, that doesn't sound like a winter wonderland.
Nope. So it didn't it just it melted away pretty quickly, and it lasted for maybe 2 hours, I guess. So
Hmm.
it wasn't really a pretty snowfall. So yeah, it was literally for a day, and then after that we got back our it went back to like the normal weather. But spring, summer, and autumn here are like super beautiful. Like the colors and everything together is just so nice. Winter is something I never look forward to. Again, the fact that I'm from India, it's always hot where I'm from, in the south. So
Hmm.
even if it's a little cold, I'm covered in 5 layers. So so for me, winter anywhere is just gonna be terrible.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I live in SoCal and it's pretty hot here consistently.
Okay.
And I'm like, I want it to be cold, but as soon as it gets like to like 70, like 2, I'm like, it's so cold.
Yeah.
Why is it so cold?
But it's really nice outside. Like it's starting to get nice outside right now. So we've been doing a lot more outdoorsy stuff lately.
Oh,
Yeah.
what do you feel are the next steps in your journey?
There's so much actually happening in the creative world with the ever evolving technology. And I really have this keen interest in learning more about virtual and augmented reality and understanding the kind of impact it's going to have in the future. I wouldn't really say it's a new concept. We already see many industries incorporating and utilizing this medium, but it would become more mainstream and prominent in the near future. So I think for me, I would definitely be stepping into those areas a lot more. It's something I haven't experimented with, and it's really exciting to see what I can do with it.
You mentioned metaverse earlier. Why metaverse in particular?
I think because it's just becoming a topic everywhere, especially right now. And when you're in the industry, a lot of your friends start talking about it, or someone's working there, and things that Facebook is creating, or especially what Facebook is creating. A lot of my friends keep sharing these articles around what they're doing with Meta right now. And it's really fascinating to see how that transition is going to happen, mainly because like right now at this moment, I don't see that transition happening. Like I don't see myself being a user of that product yet. But when we get to that stage, it's going to become something that all of us are going to be using. It's just like when the internet transition, or anything with phones, smartphones, and all of that. It was a transition for all of us. So I think this is going to be one of them. And it's a hot topic, and it's been around for a couple of years, but people are getting more and more into it, as again, like with technology and everything. I guess there's so much that you can actually tap into, And it's not just the fact that they're targeting the entertainment and the creative industry, but this is going to be spread across different industries, whether it's medical, science, education. So I'm just really excited to see what they can do with that entire concept.
I guess we will wait and
Oh,
see.
yeah. It's going to be a digital future for sure.
Oh God. It's gonna be like dot hacks.
More screen time for everybody.
Good. That's just what we need.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll bet whatever you end up doing, if it is with metaverse or VR, AR in some other different way, I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. Your art is very beautiful, so I look forward to what you create with that.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now is the time for rapid questions where I'll ask you a series of this or that or yes or no. Well, that's a lie. It's just a bunch of questions.
Okay.
And you answer as soon as possible. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Let us go. What's the best song to hype up to?
Oh, Bruno Mars. I can't think of one song, but I love him and I love all of his songs. Everything, every one of them.
Wow. Is he going to be the same answer to what's the best song to wind down to?
Yeah, I guess for me, I've been listening to a lot of Bruno Mars, so at the moment, and it changes. For me, it's like seasons. It changes for me. So at the moment, I'm feeling Bruno Mars, yeah.
Okay, I can understand that completely. Coffee or tea?
Tea,
Cake or pie?
cake.
Call or text?
Neither.
Oh,
I stay away from
okay. And you're trying to get in the middle. Okay.
my phone. I know, so it's so crazy. It's like peer pressure almost. It's like all your friends are doing it, so you need to do it.
That's how they get you. That's
I
how they
know.
get you. Night out or night in?
Night in.
What is your favorite smell?
I love the smell of I guess lavender, I would say. Anything earthy or lavender.
What's your favorite animal?
Animal. I just love animals as a person, but I'm gonna have to say either can I choose two?
Yeah, go for it.
Either an alpaca or a koala bear.
Oh my god, those choices. Oh, they're both so good.
It's all the Instagram videos that just made me fall in love with them.
What is your favorite number?
7.
Ooh, I like it because when you flip it on its side, it looks like an L.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
What is your third favorite color?
Third favorite color would be orange,
Ooh, what is your first favorite color?
black.
What is your second?
Second would probably be a shade of green, like a very specific shade of green.
This is a very interesting color palette
Yeah, I
that
know.
you have. I kind of like it though. It's very fall.
Yeah, it's very, oh, I love fall colors. Yeah, so basically that's my color palette.
Would you say fall is your favorite season?
It is my favorite season, but
Oh my goodness.
I do enjoy spring as well. Spring and fall, but fall over spring, yes.
Fall, spring, then where do summer and winter rank?
Sorry, but summer and winter. I think I'm not really a fan of winter. Like I get cold so easily, so I try to stay away
Right,
from
right.
from
That
being
makes sense.
outdoors. Yeah, summer is nice. I mean, I think for 24 years I've experienced summer in India, so spring and fall are a good change to have.
And pick a word that starts with the letter U that is not a name.
You?
Yeah.
That's not a name. Right now, I can honestly think of, I don't know, Ukraine. Oh, wait, Ukraine is a name of, never mind. Um, Under.
Give me one more. Give me one more. Give me
Yeah,
one more.
that was a boring word. Um, uh, I thought of under because right now I'm under pressure of what to think of.
Oh,
I guess unwind.
Oh, I kind of like that. A little
Yeah.
self-care. And it's like the opposite of under
Oh
pressure.
yeah, definitely. Now that I thought of a word, I can like chill.
Thank you so much, Meghna, for speaking with us today. It's been a pleasure. Do you have any social media you would like to share with us?
Yeah, actually, it's my Instagram handle is at Meg underscore Reddy, which is Reddy. And yeah, I think that's right. I'm not on Twitter, so Instagram would be the best place to contact me if there's anything.
Great. And thank you, the listener, for tuning in. Please follow Creating in Color on Instagram and Twitter, and feel free to submit any questions, comments, or whatever through our social media or email, creatingincolorcast@gmail.com. If you're interested in following me, you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and twitch.tv at Maybe It's Kaybe. Thanks to Namikaze for creating the ending theme. You can find more of his music on his SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Namikaze. That's Namikaze. Thanks to everyone sharing Creating in Color with their friends, family, and coworkers. We really appreciate any word of mouth or helping to push our hashtag on social media, hashtag Creating in Colorcast. And we have a donation message from Pantini. Dear Kaybe, this is my favorite animation podcast. It's so cool to learn about the creators' journeys and how unique each of their stories are. While I've learned so much about the different roles in production, I've enjoyed most learning about the guest speakers' lives and perspective. I love the amazing work that you do. Aw, thank you so much, Pantini. It's so sweet. Thank you for being a listener, and thank you for supporting the podcast through your donation. If you are interested in joining our donors list, you can make a one-time or monthly donation through our PayPal or Coffee at coffee.com/creatingincolor or purchasing Creating in Color merch on Star Rain Studio. Links available via our link tree. Before we wrap up, do you have any departing words of wisdom for everyone listening?
I guess like because I've experienced this a lot, just try to take care of yourselves. It's been a tough couple of actually tough 2 years for us. So really keep a track on your health and like look after one another and yeah, just be kind, I guess. Yes.
Oh my God, say it louder for the people in the back. Thank you so much. This has been Creating in Color. Keep striving, keep trying, keep creating. Bye. You can say bye.
Oh, bye.